Welcome to episode 54 of FountainCast, a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, striving to be your one-stop fountain of information regarding your local business community here in Fountain Hills. I'm your host, Jill Haislip. Be sure to stay tuned after the podcast to hear about upcoming chamber events. In today's episode, I am speaking with Kim Widner of Kim Widner PLLC. Kim has an impressive background as she began her career in one of the largest international accounting firms, continuing on to becoming an enrolled agent, which is the highest credential the IRS awards. An enrolled agent has earned the privilege of representing taxpayers before the IRS in federal tax court. Kim now focuses on business consulting with her very own business, Kim Widner PLLC. Kim, welcome to FountainCast.
Thank you, Jill.
We are so happy to have you here today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what is your business?
Okay. I provide accounting, payroll, and consulting services for businesses throughout their entire business life cycle.
Okay.
So from the beginning of a startup, trying to decide which type of entity to create. And then later, maybe there's an opportunity or a reason to change entity types. Helping a business grow through hiring employees, contractors, doing budgeting, training on QuickBooks, mergers, even helping wind up a business.
Wow, that's a lot. You really kind of diagnosed the business. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And although I retired from tax returns last year, I still provide tax services by way of answering IRS notices or helping with tax projections or researching unusual situations that a taxpayer may have.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you're kind of a one-stop shop for a business.
That's correct.
That's great. That's very important. Why did you decide to get into this industry? What was appealing about this?
Well, it was my very first accounting class in 11th grade of high school.
Wow.
Now back then it was pencil and the 14-column green ledger paper, but I loved the logic of it all. It's like a puzzle, putting all the pieces in the right place and making sure balance is maintained. And I knew from 16 years old that that's what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
That's very impressive. Where did you go to school at once you decided this is it? This is what I want to do?
I went to Michigan State University. They have an outstanding accounting program and got my CPA certification after I graduated.
Okay. And we had talked about in your introduction that you worked at one of the largest international accounting firms. How do you go from graduating from college to working in such a large industry or business?
Yeah. So I had actually had an internship in my junior year of college with another large accounting firm, and they heavily recruit at Michigan State because of its reputation for accounting. And so, through different job fairs and interviews, I had the job right out of college.
How was that?
I loved it. I learned a lot for sure and got to, broad spectrum of business and doing accounting and tax and auditing. And I became manager in 5 years. And then, as typically happens, I got hired by a client. You kind of move from that industry sometimes and go work for a client.
Okay. And then how was that working for representing clients before the IRS? Everybody hears IRS and, you get a little nervous.
Luckily, the beforehand work of communicating via correspondence or meeting with local IRS offices, I've never had to go all the way to the federal tax court.
Okay.
I know the certain things for how to address it before it gets there. So you just have to know, first of all, there's not really a reason to fear the IRS. I know a lot of people get really intimidated when they get those notices, but it's just a matter of dissecting it, presenting what they want in the way that I know that they'll be able to walk through it.
Do a lot of your friends hit you up before tax season? Too?
Yes, for sure. Yes.
I had a feeling.
With bottles of wine.
Okay. That's the key. What makes your services different from other accounting professionals?
Well, a couple things. I think the breadth and depth of my experience. I worked in a large public accounting firm and then in the corporate world for a while and then eventually opened my own business. And my clientele is so broad and diverse that seeing so many different businesses across the industries, I have a really unique perspective on things. And secondly, I really like to clean up accounting messes. Like, I know a lot of business owners maybe get behind in accounting or have never done their accounting, and there's maybe a feeling of intimidation or fear of the unknown. And I like to take all of those drifting pieces and put them into place and present clarity and, provide ongoing valuable information to help my clients succeed.
Okay. Would you say that it's best for a client who maybe is just starting up to come and start their business with you? Do you prefer working with clients that maybe have, some years behind their business, or is it really just open to anybody?
It's open to anybody. My favorite are the newcomers that are just starting the business, because that's the point where you can make sure everything is in place before you make some errors. Nothing's irreparable. You can always fix things, but if you have a plan right from the beginning and follow through and know everything, there are fewer surprises, right?
Sure.
But of course, during a business, things happen suddenly, or just things that you knew were coming but you just didn't plan for. And so it's just nice to have someone come alongside and guide you and make things a little less stressful.
Absolutely, because people don't know what they don't know.
That's correct.
So it's good to find out in the beginning, maybe you should set up your business a particular way,
Yes.
or, whatever that is, rather than down the road be like, oh, if I had done.
Exactly. So, it might be fine the way you're looking at right now, but if you talk about what your future plans are, that structure we may talk about having it different.
Okay. I love that you offer so many services, that it's not just accounting, that it's so much more than that, rather than people having to go to multiple. You're that one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Great. What is some advice that you would give brand new business owners?
Brand new business owners. First of all, just like congratulations. People often have a brainchild, or just something in their head that they want to do, and there's a fear or an unknown of how to go about doing it. So just making the decision that, I'm ready to make this a business. And I guess my advice, as we talked about, is just have good planning up front.
Mm-hmm.
Have good consultation, not just accountants, but have a tax person in place, and just be ready to set yourself up for success and growth.
Okay. You can't be an expert in every field when you're starting a new business. So it's good to, I think sometimes people, oh, well, I don't need that, I can do that. But can you, do you know how to do all those things? So I think it's extremely important that people seek the advice of professionals. You have a professional business. You're here to help them because of all of your background and everything that
That's
you've done.
True. A lot of people look at accounting as a necessary evil or something that they don't want to do. And not everyone is good at it. I can't do everything my clients do either. And so those business owners should focus on what they do best, their business,
Mm-hmm.
and have someone else that can be behind the scenes doing the numbers. I have a lot of people that just kind of think they don't need accounting, and they're just kind of going, and I think I'm making money, but I'm not sure where it's all going. And, once they allow me to come in and put it in order and present it to them on a regular basis, like, oh, why didn't I do this so much more?
Okay, that makes sense. What would you say are common bookkeeping or business mistakes?
I think the biggest one is when people make decisions for the tax effect rather than whether it makes sense for their business. For example, someone may say, hey, I need a big write-off, so I'm going to go buy a big piece of equipment. And that's great if your business is to the point where you need that big piece of equipment, or let's say you need another vehicle. But does it make sense to buy a $50,000 souped-up van when a $25,000 used pickup truck would do the job just as well?
Okay.
Another example, people say, well, should I sell some investments at a loss so that I can reduce my income? Well, my answer is, so you're going to intentionally lose $10,000 to save $2,000. So, don't focus on the tax effect. Focus first on whether it's right for your business.
Right. And talk to a professional. And that's what Kim is here for. That's what she's trying to say. What would you say is your favorite part of your job?
Oh, that's easy. I have the opportunity to just meet so many just brilliant business people and successful and innovative, and just learn about so many industries. I have seen businesses go from just an idea in the head to research and development and then creating a patented invention.
Wow.
And I have, artists and authors and people in sales and service, manufacturing, charitable, all across the board. It's just so unique just to get to know pieces of all those industries. When my very first client, she started out, she was an esthetician and just doing facials in a small studio. And today she has developed her very own cosmetic line that's sold in high-end studios. Yeah.
Wow.
So just watching the success of my clients, I just get so proud.
Oh, I can imagine. That's great to be a part of that journey with them and seeing them be from here to so big.
Yes.
And I like that you work with a variety of different companies, that your product can meet anybody's business needs. It doesn't matter the type of business. That's
correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you're not busy helping everybody with their businesses, let's shift gears a little bit. What types of things do you like to do for your free time?
Okay. I like Pilates.
Okay.
I go about 5 times a week. I love pickleball. I just started that in the fall, and I'm kind of addicted to it. It's really, really fun.
I've heard that people, once they start, it is very addicting.
So it's that once you hear the pop of that racket hitting the ball, it's really, I'll go out for 2 hours at a time and look at the clock like, oh my gosh, we've been here for 2 hours. So it goes really fast, but it's really, really fun. And then I recently took up piano lessons. So that's been really fun. Yes. My husband and I love to travel. We have quite a few amazing trips planned for this year.
Great. Now, you went to college in Michigan.
Yes.
So did you grow up back east or?
Did. Grew up in Michigan. Okay. Moved here after we got married. So we've been in the Phoenix area.
Great.
Since 1990.
What brought you to Fountain Hills?
Fountain Hills. So we were planning on finding our forever retirement home now that our kids were growing up and leaving the house, and we wanted to downsize. And we actually weren't going to move for several years. My husband was still working. We were looking up in Carefree area, actually, and someone recommended Fountain Hills. And, we just started looking online again, not with the intention of moving just yet. And he was away on a business trip, and I saw one online that had checked off every single box. So I came and looked at it first and fell in love, and with the whole area and everything. And when he came home, I presented my pros and con list and said, just come take a look. You have total veto power. You could say no, but he saw it and fell in love. So we just expedited that and bought that. And he was able to commute quite well, taking the beeline in to town. And he's fully retired now. So it's great. This is our forever home.
Wonderful. And when did you start your business?
I started my business. I've been in accounting for about 35 years, and I had my own business for about 25.
Okay. And you joined the Chamber of Commerce around 2016.
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Yep.
Okay.
I moved here in June of 16, and it's one of the first things I did. I joined in July of 16.
Why was that?
Even though Phoenix has a Chamber of Commerce, I never got involved because it's just so big. It's more of, something to say you belong to. Whereas the Chamber of Fountain of Hills is a community. And it's been the most amazing decision I made for my business. Just the connections I've made in the events and the resources that are here. I'm also part of a Success Factor group. And so really get to know a lot of people quite closely and refer them. But it's just been a great connection.
You're actually even more involved with the Chamber. You are on the board of directors.
Yes.
And then you are also the president of the new Chamber Foundation.
That's correct.
As well.
Yes.
Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what it means to be on the board of directors, and how did you get involved with that? I can't imagine you just walk in and say, I'm here to be on the board.
That is correct. So I am finishing up my 3rd year on the board. I'm also the treasurer, and I just renewed for a second 3-year term. So I was approached by the prior CEO of the Chamber. I was involved already kind of doing the tax return, and of course involved in many activities and groups, and just being visible and involved. And they always have some turnover and need by attrition, and we intentionally rotate the board. So there were several openings, and he asked me to apply, and I did. And it's great because you really get to see the inner workings of the chamber and the great team that you guys are and all that you do, just how getting kind of behind the scenes first notice of things that are about to go on, and just seeing how all of those events and projects are put together. And there's just always excitement. It's just a buzz throughout here. And so getting to kind of be on the inner workings of that is really exciting.
Great. Tell us a little bit about the foundation.
Sure. The foundation was set up recently as a fundraising opportunity to get money from grants and the public in order to enhance the programs of the chamber, enhance its education programs, enhance the signature events and other events that it holds.
Great. What advice would you give to people that are maybe not members of the chamber or are thinking about it? What would be that one thing that I think would maybe push them to say, yes, I need to go to the chamber?
Yeah, I would say, why not? I come across, especially with clients, meeting new clients, that's almost one of the first questions I ask. Are you a chamber member? Like, why? I said, well, you kind of need to be. So that's how you just get to establish relationships and connections and resources. And for them to find out about it without making a commitment, come to a Brew with Betsy event, or just come to any of the events and see what it's all about. But I don't think anyone has ever regretted joining. And my clients that come back and say, wow, thank you for that advice.
Good. There's another group that you have been a part of, and that's the Leadership Academy. We haven't talked about Leadership Academy yet on FountainCast, so tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I was in the second class back in 2016, and things change every year, but it is basically a program to try to immerse members of the community to learn about their community. Every week they have a different focus, town government, schools, entertainment, and charitable events. We get to go tour the Wika Pa, the casino and the farm that the Native Americans have, and the sanitary district was amazing. So it's just a way for you to really learn a lot of unique things about the town that you might not have the opportunity otherwise. And then after you go through that Leadership Academy, you are, you're more able to seek opportunities to get really involved in the community and join different boards or help with different tax-exempt organizations, etc.
You can be very involved in town through the nonprofits, through the Leadership Academy, the chamber. There's a lot of ways to be closely connected here in Fountain Hills, and I think that you are a prime example of that. How is it best for people to be able to get in touch with you? Is there a website they can go to? Should they call you? What's best?
Email or call.
Okay.
So my email is kimwidner@cox.net. All one word, KIMWIDNER @cox.net. My phone number, 602-820-6807. And that information is available on the chamber directory.
Absolutely, and that's fhchamber.com. I want to thank you so much for coming in and talking about your business. I'm very interested in it. I think that it's not just a one-stop, and I like that. I like all the different options that you provide, and so I really encourage our listeners that if you have any business questions, contact Kim. You'll let them know, yes, this is something that I can help you do, or refer out. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
I always tell people, I say the success of your business should not be based on guesswork. You need to have timely, relevant, and accurate information that allows you to make wise business decisions, and that's what I can provide.
Well, thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our FountainCast listeners today?
No, I appreciate being here. It's been a lot of fun.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. That will wrap up episode 54 of FountainCast. And once again, thank you so much for listening and viewing today's episode. Don't forget to share our show with your friends, neighbors, clients, and anyone in your network. And be sure to like, rate, and review our show to wherever you watch and listen to your podcasts. If you are in need of any accounting and business consultations, you should absolutely give Kim a call. She is a wealth of information, as you all just learned about, and she has you and your best interest at heart. Don't miss our upcoming chamber events. We have 2 ribbon cuttings coming up, Holmes Law PLLC on Thursday, May 19th, and Precision Power Washing and Mobile Detailing on May 26th. Both will be at noon, and it's a great way to celebrate brand new businesses. We have Brew with Betsy that Kim also spoke about. It's a great opportunity to learn about how to be better involved with the Chamber of Commerce and how we can support you. That is on Tuesday, May 24th at noon, and our Chamber Lunch Mob, which is a ton of fun, on Friday, May 27th. We will be meeting at Papayas at 11:30. You can check the Chamber's website for more details. And as today's host, Jill Haislip, thank you, Fountain Hills, for continuing to be the best community.
Thank you. You do wonderful work.
That was fun.
It was very fun.
Okay, let's stop the recording.